Not Another Podcast, episode 9. They say it couldn't be done. They said it couldn't be done. Okay, your mic isn't on. They said it couldn't be done. Your mic couldn't be on.
They said you'll never make it past 8 episodes with both mics on. And they were right.
It's been an interesting couple weeks. The last few weeks. I can't believe we did this for a living. We're just like repeating the same words.
It's been the same 2 weeks. Like every day is exactly the same. I don't even know what day it is half the time.
In case you didn't listen to the last episode, Dayna revealed that she has decided to join me. Well, she didn't decide to join me. Someone else decided that she'd be joining me.
Somebody decided for me that I would join you in unemployment.
And it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. It feels like longer. It feels like it's been 2 months.
Time flies when you're literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
So the question we got a lot since that episode came out is, how are you doing? So how are you doing?
I don't know, really. Like, I'm sad today for some reason.
Yeah, you're going to go through that.
Yeah, waves, I guess, of sadness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. I'm just like concerned for the future. You know, we got bills to pay. We've got a mortgage renewal this year.
Uh-huh. We got cats to feed.
We've got 2 mouths to feed other than our own.
Another question we got was, do we have dogs? No, we have 2 cats.
2 cats.
So they have to be fed, apparently.
I actually turned Tony into a cat guy. You were a great cat dad.
Well, wait a minute. You didn't turn me into a cat dad. I had a cat growing up. Patches, rest in peace, right? But you wanted a cat, and I wasn't too sure about it because I wanted a dog because I never had a dog. I've only had a cat, so I wanted a dog, and guess who won?
I won.
Yeah.
I like dogs. I like other people's dogs. I don't want a dog in my house, but I'll love your dog.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take your dog for a walk.
That's
I'll
right.
cuddle with your dog. I'll play with your dog. I love your dog, but I don't want a dog in my house.
So we got 2 cats instead. So we kind of came to the closest thing. So there's Willow, who is she's a rag doll. So she's got a crown on because she's a princess. And then we got
She's a designer.
and Ozzy was a rescue from the Humane Society.
Yeah, street cat. We got a street cat and a princess.
Originally, the Ozzy's name was Bronco. They named him
At the
Bronco
Humane
at the
Society.
Humane Society.
Yeah.
And his sister was Tonka, or was it his brother? His other
It
brother was
2 boys.
Tonka.
Yeah.
So we decided he came home and he just caused ruckus. And I'm like, he's an Aussie, but he's not an O-Z-Z-I-E. He's an O-Z-Z-Y.
Why?
Because he's rock and roll.
Yeah.
So you have been, it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've just been feeling nostalgic about the past, and there's something so sad about nostalgia, isn't there?
Well, yeah, because you're looking back. Usually with nostalgia, you're looking back on good times.
Yeah.
And sometimes you feel like those good times won't happen again, but they will.
No, they will, but
You
yeah.
just won't have gold highlights when you do it.
No, it's like, I don't know. And I've been thinking about like things that I regret, and I'm like, I don't want to live like that anymore, you know? I don't want to move through life thinking that, I'll do it. I'll try that out, or I'll
Get to it.
when I have more money, or when I have a better job, or
Right.
when I do this, when I reach this age. Like I want to stop that attitude, and I just want to, if I have an idea of something I want to do, I just want to do it.
So,
Figure it out along the way, you know?
and you said earlier you feel a little sad today. When I got let go, I think that's totally normal. I think there's more days there's a couple days I was sad, and I felt more than anything else, I just felt lost because I didn't have my routine, because we would wake up, or you'd get up first, start prepping the show. I'd come down, help you prep the rest of the show. We do our own thing and then go to work. That structure's now gone. And that's probably one of the hardest things to do, is trying to find a new structure after you've been so used to your old life for like 5-6 years, because we did the show together for 5 years.
And to be honest, when you got let go and I was trying to coach you, like I was trying to give you support, right? And like, you should make a schedule for yourself. You should do this. You should do that. Yeah. And I told you all these things you should do. And I'm like, why wouldn't you do it? It's so easy. And now I have to do it. And I'm like, oh, it's actually not easy to find the motivation. And you do have to be a certain type of person, or you gotta do it for yourself, and you have to actually do it. And that's hard.
And go through it. So when you were telling me to make a structure, to make a schedule and stick to that schedule, and you saw that I wasn't doing it that much, were you kind of disappointed in me?
A little bit.
And now that you're seeing, you're going through it, do you understand more?
Yes, I do.
It's difficult to, you say, I want to do this, I want to do that. But also a big party is like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, that's
like,
what
I don't
it
want
feels
to do
like.
a thing.
That's what it feels like a lot of the time.
I just want to be kind of left alone, and then I'll do a thing here and there. I propped up the fence the other day. I painted this, I folded that. I never folded. Did anybody fold their laundry the day they do it?
No.
It just sits in a room for like 3 days. But that was the hardest motivation for me, was just trying to do anything because I just didn't want to. It was really, really difficult. So now I'm going to try to give you some tips on hopefully making this transition.
Okay.
I've been through it. Have you ever been fired before? Before this, were you ever let go?
Yeah, one time.
From?
When I worked at a tanning salon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I was like probably one of their best employees, and then they just fired me.
You are pretty pale though. Maybe you weren't like
tanned enough.
Yeah, you weren't tanned enough. You want someone because you worked the front desk, right? Well, it was the front desk, and you let people in the room. Like you pretty much ran it by yourself, right?
Yeah,
like when
pretty
you worked,
much.
there was only one
yeah.
employee at the time. They probably want someone who's really showing off like the Australian gold bronzer, you know?
Honestly, do you know why I think they fired me? I think it's because I gained weight.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was between high school and college. So I had gone to college for a bit, but I decided I didn't want to go anymore. So I dropped out. And I spent
what did you take in college that you dropped out of?
Marketing.
Oh, okay.
And I spent a lot of time sitting down at the desk working at the salon, right? There was a lot of downtime. So I would order food from the restaurant around the corner and I would eat. And I wasn't moving my body very much. So I was gaining weight. At one point, I think I gained like 60 pounds. Yeah.
60 pounds in how
And they
long?
had an image at the tanning salon, right? The owner was very, very like fit.
Yeah.
They loved
Gym bro?
The gym was right upstairs. Gym bro, 1000%.
Yeah.
And that is the only explanation I can even give you, because to fire me without notice, I feel like they felt that my image went down.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the only explanation that I had, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you look great now.
Thanks.
You know what I mean?
Even if I had like gained weight, whatever, I'm in a different place now.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
With my body and my mind and stuff. And
Gym
it
bros.
affected me back then, but now that wouldn't bother me.
And tell me more about pre-workout gym bros.
You also can't just fire somebody and not give them their due diligence, like their severance and stuff, which I know now.
Which, yes.
So yeah, like back then I didn't know that. So.
Okay, so I've been fired lots of times. I got fired from Co-op.
I'm shocked.
Don't say that. I got fired from Co-op in high school. Do you know how bad of an employee you have to be fired as you're not paid?
Considering you're working for free, yeah.
I worked at a comic book shop at Ottawa U, and I got fired for not showing up. So that was my first firing.
Well, that would happen.
Right.
If you don't show up, you will get fired.
And then I worked at a restaurant called The Place Next Door, and I got fired after 3 weeks.
For?
What happened was I asked the boss, I'm like, hey, do you know where the broom is? Because I was a busboy. And then he lost it. He's like, you shouldn't be asking me these questions. I'm not here to answer those questions. I'm like, cool. He's like, so you can either, and he actually gave me an ultimatum. He's like, you can either go sweep in the room or you can leave. And I'm like, I'll leave. So
wait, you worked there for 3 weeks and didn't know where the broom was?
No, I didn't. You know what? Thinking about it now, maybe he should have fired me.
Maybe you were the problem.
I was a custodian. So I was fired from that. I worked at a jigsaw puzzle store called the Jigsaw Jungle. Fired as a seasonal worker. They said they didn't need me anymore, which means...
Oh, well, that's different. They didn't need you anymore.
No, they didn't need me taking their money anymore as an employee because I sucked.
Stealing
No, I
from
wasn't
them?
stealing.
Oh, okay.
But I worked in the mall, and I was like 16, 17, and you're at the mall, 17-year-old. Like, you don't want to hang out in a jigsaw puzzle store. You see beautiful girls walk by. You just want to, hey, I'm going to go on break. I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then you try to follow them around. You know what I mean?
Weird you did that?
No.
That's weird.
So I got fired for that. What others? Until this job in radio, I actually held it down solid. I didn't get fired once until recently when I got laid off. So
Which is different than being fired.
Which is different from being fired.
Puts you at fault. Being laid off, you're not at fault for that.
Get out.
Yeah,
okay.
Like, being laid off is different.
Okay, so let me hit you with a few things that might help this transition for you, okay? One, alarm clocks aren't a thing right now. So don't use them. If you want to sleep in, sleep in. You know what I mean? You have nothing to get up for.
Isn't that bad though? Because then you'll oversleep and then
No. Well, you could wake up early and still feel like shit.
Listen, I'm 36 now. I can't sleep past like 8:30.
Okay, but I think right now you're still in it. You're 2 weeks in it. So I think for the next couple of weeks, like, you can be okay with keeping your alarm clock off, okay? But you're going to get up when your body tells you to. Like, when you set your alarm for 7:30, but your body wakes you up at 7:24.
Yeah, I know.
And then you're annoyed. Give me that 6 more minutes. Okay, so that's 1, right? 2, clothing's optional. Wear whatever you want. It's like, be kind of a slob around the house.
What is this?
This is motivation. You gonna buy my book or not?
What is this?
It's more like a Post-it note.
Where's this list going?
Suck it up. Well, those are a couple of things. I'm still working through it. I'm still working through the list.
Clearly.
But I think there should be maybe a weekly goal. Like for the first few weeks, do something that you've set out for. Because I think like the first day, you made the mistake of trying to start a schedule. That's the first thing you did.
Yeah, I had a schedule set from like 9 to like the whole day.
Okay, how many items was on that schedule?
Like at least 10.
And how many did you knock off?
Probably like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
wasn't bad.
Part was my fault because I had to go get an X-ray and you came with me, and then you haven't done a schedule since. So pick something else you want to get done by the end of the week and then do it. You've been sick for the last few days too.
Yeah,
again,
getting sick again, another sinus infection. That's 2 in the last month and a bit.
Yep.
So I'm like, I hope that's not acute. Like where it keeps coming back.
Yeah,
so
totally.
We'll see what happens. But back to my nasal rinses, which I raved about on an earlier episode.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to talk about the thing that you think happened to you?
The thing that
so when you do a nasal rinse, you have to sanitize the bottle.
Oh yeah.
So I hear Dayna doing the nasal rinse upstairs, and then I hear her say, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "What's wrong?" She goes, "I forgot to sanitize the bottle."
And I rinsed it with tap water.
You rinsed it with tap water, and then
so there were droplets of tap water in the bottle, and then I filled it with the distilled water and did the rinse.
And in case you don't know,
that's dangerous
because you can get
a brain-eating bacteria and die.
Right. So there are some consequences, maybe.
There are some consequences.
Put that on your list.
So I started
sanitize your
looking.
bottle.
I forget what it's called. It's called like Falari. Like I can't remember the name of it, but it's
foul play.
Very specific brain-eating bacteria
Yeah.
that it goes up to your brain
Yeah.
and kills you.
Mm-hmm.
So I started Googling. Right, I'm like, can I get it from a
It
small
is
amount
the
of
worst.
water?
Why do we do that?
Droplets. What do I do? What are the symptoms? Like I started freaking out, but I'm fine.
Why do we do that? Why is it that's the first place we go? I've been going through some health issues lately. And when it started, I look it up. It's, Dayna, I got cancer. Dayna, I got cancer. Here it is. And then you go to get tested and all that stuff. And then you end up being fine. Or it's like, oh, what's this? Oh, no, Dayna, I got lupus. It's like these random things.
It's because we're looking for confirmation, either confirmation that we're going to be okay or confirmation that something is terribly wrong.
Get the will kit. Who's going to get the Jordans? Because I have tuberculosis.
Do you want to talk about what you've been going through lately at all?
Not really.
No?
Not
maybe on
really.
another episode?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Everything's fine though. Just
everything is okay.
fine. I just had a bit of a health scare a couple weeks ago, and it was a stressful few weeks.
Yeah, it was. You don't have to talk about it now if you don't want to.
Yeah, maybe at the end of the day, everything's fine. You know, but it's funny you say that because like you were trying to stay positive while I was just being like, oh no, you think the worst, and you always think the smaller chance of something happening, which is the worst thing, and you never think about, oh, it's probably nothing. I think as you get older, your anxiety goes up, especially for medical stuff, because all the seniors or all the older people they're all going through medical shit.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's going to be me.
Yeah. Well, you're aging. Everybody is.
No.
Like everybody's aging.
It's a couple people I'm wondering.
Everything
good
starts
doctors
to break down at a certain point. But you know why I'm a little crazy? The other night we're in bed and I start to spiral because I hear a noise. And I look at the cat and I'm like, well, the cat reacted to the noise. Mm-hmm. So she heard it. That means it's a weird noise. You don't know what it is.
Willow sleeps in her bed.
It's like 11 p.m. And I silence. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Okay. I go back to reading. There's another noise. Willow doesn't react this time. So I'm like, either she's too in her, she's really in a deep sleep, or it's nothing. It's a common noise. But I'm like, I don't know. So I come downstairs.
By the way, where am I?
You're sleeping.
I'm out cold.
Fast asleep.
Out cold.
So I get up. I go downstairs. I check everything. Ozzy is on the cat tree. I'm like, maybe it was him jumping up on the cat tree. I don't know. So I'm walking around. I'm checking every room. I go in the basement, checking every room. Like there would be somebody hiding, waiting to jump out and say, boo.
Dayna, the noise It's coming from inside the house.
I get so freaked by noises. God forbid I have to sleep here by myself. I'll never get to sleep. I was so paranoid. Do you know what I did? I was like, the knife block is on the counter and it's just out. What if somebody sees that and gets a knife?
Yeah.
So the air fryer was on the counter.
Right.
So I put the air fryer, I slid it in front of the knife block so you can't see it anymore, and it would make too much noise if you tried to get a knife.
And then you would know that someone was in the house trying to get to our knives behind the air fryer.
Behind the
That's
air
genius.
fryer, because they're making so much
They're making
noise.
so
I'm
much
like,
noise.
that's the intruder
Yeah.
trying to get a knife that I put behind the air fryer.
I actually
Like, my mind is crazy. And I went upstairs and I was like, okay, I gotta listen for any more noises. And there was nothing.
I actually thought you were gonna say that you noticed that the knife block was out, so you took the knife block and brought it to our bed. Imagine waking up and seeing you bring knives into the bedroom. What the fuck?
Honestly, I should have. I don't know why I didn't. I should have done that. And I'm so paranoid about that stuff. Like and you keep saying, I want one of those magnetic strips you put on the wall. You put all your knives
You put your
on.
knives
And
on
I'm
it.
like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I don't want
Professional.
that because it's too easy access if you have an intruder and they don't have a weapon.
So, okay. So you think that if we had the metallic strip, the knife strip on the wall, it would be easier access for someone to grab a knife instead of going into the block and pulling it out?
Because you have to pull the block out from towards the counter because the cabinets up top block you from pulling it out.
Yeah.
And then you got to pull it out and then you got to push it down. Ozzy, get down.
Ozzy.
The cat's on the
Ozzy's
counter.
on the counter.
Ozzy.
Ozzy.
Ozzy, get down.
He hears us.
He does not care.
He hears us.
He does. I'm looking right at you.
By the way, Ozzy's the rescue.
Get down. Get down.
Someone help me. Reminds me of about a year ago, we were sleeping, and then all of a sudden our smoke alarm just went off. It just went off randomly.
Yeah.
So I'm in a half daze.
No. The smoke alarm goes off. I open my eyes and you flew out of bed like Superman with a pillow. You took
And
a
we're both
pillow
wearing
with
tights.
you. You took a pillow with you and you started running through the house.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at you. I'm like, well, I don't smell smoke.
Right,
I
yeah.
don't see smoke. Don't smell it. There's nothing.
We have 4 smoke alarms. We have 2 on the main floor.
no.
We have 1 on the main floor.
There's one on every
We
floor.
have 1 upstairs. We have 2 downstairs. There's 2 downstairs. I don't know why. They do overkill when it comes to like smoke alarms here. So I just instinct ran out of bed, went and checked if there's any smoke or any fire downstairs in the basement. Next thing I know, when I'm done checking everything, Dayna's coming behind me. She goes, "Why do you have a pillow in your arm?"
like you're running around with a pillow. Are you gonna
I'm gonna smother it.
put the fire out with a pillow? Anyway, it was just like a little dust. It was like a false alarm, I guess, is what they call those.
So, now going forward, we went from spending every day together to 3-4 months of not spending any time together. Well, no, not as much.
Not none, but just not all day, every day.
And now here we are again,
Now here we are again, all day, every day.
doing a show.
Yeah, I know.
Except it's just weekly now.
Except it's just once a week.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's not 6 hours every day.
No, it's not. But you are, I will say that Dayna has decided to do something with her time. There is going to be, how do I put this? There's going to be some adventures in Hyrule because Dayna started playing Zelda.
Oh, I started playing Breath of the Wild
Breath of the
again. I
Wild?
never finished it.
So now
And
you're
then I
playing video
played
games?
Tears of the Kingdom and I finished that.
You're funny because you always talk shit that I take video games way too seriously. And listening to you in the last few days, you're almost as bad as I am. You know
Well,
that,
no,
right?
I don't take it too. I just get
Frustrated.
Frustrated.
And I don't
Yeah.
get frustrated?
No,
What's the
you
difference?
do.
No,
You
I do. That's your favorite move. Is
Yeah, it's just like you sound very angry.
Yeah, well, it's not my fault. It's the controller's fault.
It's the
Everyone knows it's the
controller's
controller's fault. It's never our fault, right?
Yeah, I know.
So that's some of the stuff that's been going on. Now we have got some questions. You want to answer some more questions?
Oh, we do. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Will says, "Are you sick of me yet?"
I mean, day by day depends.
Yep.
Yeah,
Some days,
today's okay.
some days you're like mid nausea. Some days you're full on, and some days you feel like throwing up. So Susie asks, "What's the collective morale at the moment?"
So between the two of us,
Well, between the two of us, it's okay.
it's okay.
Uncertainty is like a
I
big
think
part of the big thing.
we're trying to take advantage of this time that we have.
Yeah, thinking about taking a trip in the fall.
We're gonna look at taking a trip to Europe in the fall because neither of us have ever been.
So we got 2 places that we've kind of narrowed down. Dayna's Italian.
Yeah.
So Italy, I'm Portuguese, so it's Portugal. So it's the battle of the homelands.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
It's pizza versus octopus. Okay. And I've got 8 tentacles.
Who should win?
Well, I've got 8 tentacles. I think I'm going to win. So we've narrowed it down to those 2. And we'll hopefully take something in the summer. We are more vacation people.
Yeah, like I'm
down south.
like going down south, all inclusive, everything's done for you. I love that. I know a lot of people hate that.
Yeah.
They think that that's boring, and that's fine. I will never think that hanging out in a pool lying on the beach for 7 days is boring.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
But this will be a bit different.
This will be a trip.
This will be a trip. A trip and a vacation are 2 different things. A vacation is like you're going, you're relaxing. There's really not anything crazy going on.
Maybe some diarrhea based on the food.
Yeah.
If you're traveling with me.
And a trip is more like active.
Yeah,
Like you're going to different places. You're seeing different landmarks.
We're gonna see we're gonna experience more culture.
Yeah.
Not just what the gift shop has to offer at the resort.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the gift shop. You know, those are awesome. But yeah, so right now, those are the 2 places we're leaning at. You know, Italy, you've got Florence, you got the Colosseum, Rome, obviously, the Trevi Fountain, the Spanish Steps.
Yeah, I really want to go
Pizza on the road.
I want to go to Sorrento, like the Amalfi Coast.
Right, yeah.
And Tuscany and do like a cooking class.
Oh, Toscana. Yeah, I think that's what we would do, right? We would do a cooking class in Italy. And in Portugal, you know, you've got the Algarve. We're from the Azores. We're from the islands. And my cousin opened a bakery shop, a Canadian bakery shop there. And it's done really well. So we might want to do that too. And, you know, some things about traveling to Europe, you hear it's like, you know, the scams and, you know, pickpockets and all that stuff. And so you just,
there's things of concern, right? And also there's the cats. I got to bring them to my mom's house for the 10 days or however long this trip is going to end up being.
They're going to have to learn how to avoid your grandmother's sandal when she throws it at them.
And her walker.
Yeah.
And so there's things that'll make it maybe a bit stressful, but I also think that we'd be silly not to take advantage of, you know, a bit of paid time off, because when are you going to have that in your life again outside of retirement?
And it was difficult.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. And it was difficult for me and you to get our time off together at the station because we both did the same show and stuff. So here's our opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Another question we got was, did the station ever have an issue with the podcast?
No, I remember when you got let go, and then before we started, I asked my boss, like, is it going to be an issue? And she was like, no. As long as we're not discussing their company and, you know,
we'll leave it to everybody else, because everyone else just go online. Everyone else is saying stuff, not us. Like, we're just here to, hey, what's up?
As long as we're not, you know, talking shit about the company and like trying to take it down or revealing some top secret things, which I mean, I don't know anything that would hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter.
What's going on over there?
Willow is like having the time of her life, chasing balls.
Hey, just like her mom. So, no.
Gross.
Okay, well, we'll take it out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. No one will think.
Yeah, we'll take it out. Erase that. Speaking of Italy, do you see how the people of Venice are like protesting Jeff Bezos' wedding?
No.
No? You haven't seen that? It's like no space for Bezos.
No.
And they're talking about how, you know.
How do you know this? I thought we were both like cut off. Don't you feel a little cut off now that the job is done?
This is one of the only things I've been seeing, and all obviously what's going on with Trump.
Yeah,
and
all that stuff. Yeah,
too.
yeah. Okay, so why are they protesting?
Because Venice is like over tourism and the not the economy. What's the other thing? Environment.
Yeah.
The other thing with
I think environment. The other E word.
You know, that's affecting Venice, and Venice is sinking, and they're saying that there needs to be some sort of regulations, especially with tourism. And then Jeff Bezos and his soon-to-be wife Lauren Sanchez are going to come in, and they just don't want him there. He's not liked. I'll tell you that much. He's not well liked in the world.
Right.
And it's a multi-day, big, rich person event.
Wedding, yeah.
And there's a group called No Space for Bezos. They've been protesting. They've even forced a change in the venue for them.
Really?
Yeah. So if that was for a day after party. So there's a party after the wedding. The next day.
Who has an after party for the wedding? Is that just called the reception? It's
the next day. This is like we're not in that tax bracket. We don't know, right? But they've been trying to get on their good side, because I don't know if you've seen their wedding invitations.
No.
But their wedding invitations say, please no gifts. We are going to make donations to local Venice charities in every guest's honor. So in lieu of gifts, we're making donations.
So like $100 have been donated to the Human Fund by you? By the Bezos?
I have no idea.
Okay, so why are people upset about that? Oh, that's how they're
No,
trying to get
they're
on their
not
good
upset,
side.
but they're trying to get
trying to get on the good side.
on the good side of the people of Venice by doing that.
Ratchet
and
it
the
up.
invitations are so ugly.
Well, they kind of look to me like they get the vibe. They're very gaudy. Like, the more richer you are, do you have to be the gaudier you become?
Yeah, well, money can't buy taste, right? Your taste is your taste.
No.
No matter how much money you have,
Yeah.
that's your taste, that's your style, right?
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
just
yeah.
so happens that a lot of people that have a lot of money have
Very
questionable
little
taste.
Maybe it's because when you're so rich, you don't need taste.
I guess you don't.
You don't, because you can pretty much afford everything. By the way, if they want to get on the people of
Venice.
Venice, they're on their good side. Just give them all Prime. Like, give every resident Amazon Prime for the year.
That's just what they need. More
know,
consumerism.
more delivery.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. More consumerism, more overconsumption.
Wait, is it Vienna or Venice?
Venice.
Venice,
Venice
right?
is the gondolas, right?
The gondolas. Okay, right.
know,
I thought you
the-
meant Vienna, Austria.
No.
Like, because for some reason I thought Vienna, they have the boats, right? You take them all through the city. Why are you?
No,
why are
they
you
also
looking
have
at
the
that?
sausages.
They
The Vienna sausages. That's what comes to my mind.
have you ever had a Vienna sausage?
No,
No.
actually.
I hear so much about it, and I've never had
I
a
know.
Vienna sausage.
Make jokes all the time about them, and
Yeah,
I never.
I don't know why
never
we're
had.
putting down Vienna sausages. Listen, when you think of sausages, Vienna sausage is the number one thing that comes to mind, or like a bratwurst.
They're canned, right?
Yeah, they're canned. They come in a little blue can, and you know pigs in a blanket. Have you ever had pigs in a blanket?
Yeah.
It's like a pogo, but it's exposed on each end.
Yeah, my mom used to make those as a kid.
Oh,
Pillsbury
that's
crescents.
awesome. Oh, yum.
Sliced
that's awesome.
cheese and a hot dog. Yeah.
Sliced cheese.
Yeah, you
Pillsbury
put sliced
crescents.
cheese. So you have your Pillsbury crescent square,
Yeah.
and you put Kraft single.
Yeah.
You put a hot dog, and then you
Oh.
roll it up.
Man, we've lost ingenuity. You know, when I was growing up, we wanted to make pizza, but our parents weren't home to order it. And plus, getting pizza when you're Portuguese, good luck. Like, it's a very nice, it's a treat.
Oh,
There's two treats in the house.
Special thing.
Yeah, two treats in the house when you're Portuguese, food wise. Okay, one, it's KFC. That's what we either got KFC or we got pizza. You don't get anything else. When you were growing up, what was your treat as far as food goes?
Well, when my mom would take me to the doctors, we'd always get McDonald's after. That was like my reward for being good at the doctors.
Okay, so if you
Right.
weren't good, you wouldn't get McDonald's.
And then you'd walk into class with your bag of McDonald's like this.
You bring an oil stained bag into class.
Yeah, like your McDonald's
Hey
lunch.
guys, it's my knapsack.
That's my lunch. Look, I got McDonald's and none of you have McDonald's. You have your shitty old Lunchables.
Your
that
Dunkaroos.
shit your
Shitty
mom-
old Lunchables.
that crappy sandwich your mom packed for you.
Oh my God. My mommy made it with love.
And I've got a Happy Meal. That was one of my
Ironic.
favorite
Your
things.
Happy Meal made a bunch of kids unhappy.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this? Oh, yeah.
and Red Lobster was a big one. Red Lobster was always like, that was a fancy restaurant.
it was.
I was like, we're celebrating something. We're going to Red Lobster.
Okay. So we used to go to Red Lobster when the ultimate feast was $30. Now it's $50. Anyways, so we are Portuguese. We grew up with seafood, and crackers, like lobster crackers. What? We would use our hands, and I swear,
It's easier, isn't it?
well, and it's messier.
Yeah.
One time we went, and it was a bunch of us, and we got a lobster, and we were doing that. You should have seen the tables around us. They thought we were barbarians.
Really?
But we were just cracking it open with our hands, and they were using like the claw crackers and stuff like that. I felt like they should have handed out lobster for dummies to the other tables.
That's what I no.
Yeah, lobster for dummies. That's for you.
It's
That's
for me.
for you. It
Yeah.
comes with your own bib.
Well, when we went out to like Pelican, one of our favorite restaurants.
Yep.
And I got the lobster patin, which is one of the best meals.
Okay, so picture it. So
Ever.
it's a medium-sized lobster that's been like boiled.
Yeah.
And then it's
cut
split
in
in half,
half.
and it's on both sides of your platter, and then you have a poutine with lobster gravy down the middle.
Yeah. And that was much easier. And they give you all the tools, but it's much easier
Yes.
to use your hands.
Yeah.
to
And
break stuff apart.
and nothing says class like taking the lobster claw and like sucking on it like a straw right in the
Well,
middle of the
and you
restaurant.
have like nice plastic bib on.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
your meal, and then you get the check, and they're like, that'll be $200. You're like,
Yeah,
yeah. Didn't think I would get that with a plastic bib.
Yeah, plastic bag. It should have been a drop cloth the way I ate my lobster poutine. Anyway, so going back to it, growing up, when we couldn't get pizza, we broke down pizza. So you'd get a piece of toast, right? You throw it in the toaster oven with like some spaghetti sauce on top with olives and like chunks of like Kraft orange cheese.
Ugh, nasty.
I'm starting to, I start to realize why me and my siblings all have stomach problems
Yeah, that's
because of the
gross.
stuff we used to eat.
That is gross.
It's not gross. No, it's not gross. It's unfortunate, but it's not gross.
I guess if you're in a bind,
Yeah.
and you're really hungry.
Hey, when you're 7 and you have like literally nothing, your parents aren't home yet, and you're in a bind, it's either that or
It's
cornflakes.
really what color olives? Black or
Green.
green? Yeah. Okay.
I get turned on to black olives until later in life.
Okay.
It's all about green olives, I think.
Love olives. Oh gosh, they're so good.
So back to the wedding. So they're going to get married in Venice.
Yeah.
And everybody hates them. So you know.
That's pretty much it.
Is that par for the course? Like if you're Jeff Bezos, you're like, oh, look, add it to the list. Who else hates me? Venice.
The world?
The world.
Like
I love how you put the world and then Venice. Like they're different.
Oh, do you know? Oh, I wanted to mention this too. You know what I heard that Google is doing? Google is trying to basically end the web
How?
as we know it with their AI. So you know now when you Google something and you get an AI summary before
Gemini.
you get your search results.
It's a Gemini. Like, yeah, they tell you your
Google
answer.
Gemini, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it gives you a summary of what they think you're looking for, right? Before it gives you the actual websites that you might go and click on and search.
And because, let me guess, because people are just reading it and not going to the sites?
Yes. So web traffic is down. And they suspect it's because of this, because Google is the search engine. It's the search engine, right?
Hey, but a Bing. You guys in Bing no more, bro?
Bing? What's the other one? That is the one. That's Microsoft. Bing.
Bing.
Yeah.
Is it still open?
Nobody
Is it still
uses Bing.
Has anyone asked Jeeves anything lately?
Ask Jeeves.
Has anyone asked Jeeves lately?
That was my first search engine
Was
I've
it?
ever used.
Do you remember he was like a butler?
Yes.
Yeah, with like the 3-piece suit and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
was so good. I
And
wonder if it still exists.
I always felt that he would answer the question like, well, thank you so much for the question. Yes, Jeff Bezos
You'll be
is
happy
evil.
to know that Ask Jeeves is still a thing. It's just called ask.com.
Okay, is Bing still a thing? Is that the search engine?
Bing? I'm sure Bing is still a thing.
Ask
yeah,
Jeeves.
Microsoft Bing.
When I think Ask Jeeves, I think Netscape Navigator, or that was my first browser was Netscape Navigator.
Yeah.
Mozilla Firefox.
Yeah. Is that the same day you got a telegram to your door? Or?
It was a dewy Tuesday, and then a young boy came to the door.
Okay, so the idea that is that Google is
The
trying
idea
to
that is.
listen.
Oh, I'm listening. I think we all heard that
So
one.
the thoughts are Google is trying to push this, right? So they're trying to make Google just AI. So when you go to Google and search something, you don't get web results anymore. You will just get
What they tell you.
the AI summary.
Yeah.
And those will be your search results. That is potentially the future of Google. And they're saying that this is very bad. Hundreds, possibly thousands of people are going to be without work because if web traffic goes down, web advertisements aren't needed.
They start laying off
That's going to
people.
be people laid off.
Yeah.
Writers, developers, people who host domains, like all of these websites. If they don't have web traffic and they're not making ad dollars and they're not paying their people, then they're all going to be without work and et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
I just don't understand why we need to go so far with AI. Why?
I don't know.
We don't need it.
I don't know.
It can only hurt. Sure, it can help and make our lives easier, but it can only hurt us too, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's because companies always want to push the limits, keep pushing the limits. AI,
Be
it's
the
got
first.
to
Be
be
better than everyone.
It's got to sound conversational. They have to sound human. And as we used to be in an industry that is going to be affected by AI, kind of already is in certain parts of the business. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
The day that they start doing AI radio hosts seriously is the day that radio actually dies. Nobody will listen to that. I will die on that hill. Nobody's going to listen to an AI host. Why have a host at all? Just play the music.
Well,
Just wipe out hosts altogether.
well, even Spotify has those AI. Hey,
The AI
I heard you've
DJ?
been listening to this lately. Let's give you more of that
I've used it. I've used the AI DJ, but guess what? I skip when he's talking.
when he's talking.
I'm like, I don't care what you have to say about this next song. I just want to hear what you have picked for me next.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where it goes, especially considering radio's still free.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, but it's going to be up to listeners to decide if they want to support that or not.
There was a station, was it Australia, where they had an AI host and they had them for months and they kept it
quiet.
They kept it quiet. I
knew.
can't say a secret. It wasn't maybe
Yeah.
a secret, but they didn't advertise that it was an AI host. And then the public found out and they were pissed. Like they got a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
And then I think they went back on it. Don't quote me on that. But I think they may have removed the AI host because of that. So I don't think there's an appetite for AI hosts of any kind.
Yeah, and until it gets to the point where you can't tell the difference between a real human and an AI.
Yeah.
If you want to make a really good AI radio host, they have to swear once in a while because that does happen and it makes it sound more human. And a lot of stuttering. There should be some stuttering.
There should be stuttering. Yeah, they can't be perfect.
No. We were actually watching a YouTube video earlier today. I don't remember what it was about. And we were convinced it was an AI
voiceover.
voice. Oh, it was about the fall of Old Navy, the supposed fall of Old Navy. And it sounded like an AI voice. And it was just very slow and monotone and annoying.
And the inflections were in weird spots.
Yeah. Mayonnaise. No, that's not.
Mayonnaise.
That's not how you dress a sandwich.
I don't get it. I don't get why we need to go so far with AI when it's only going to literally destroy us. I don't.
We've been warned. That's what the Terminator movies are all about. It's Skynet. Have you watched any of them?
iRobot.
iRobot. Underrated movie, by the way.
It's good. I like it.
I think people forget how good that movie actually is.
Yeah.
Because Will Smith's kind of taken a pun intended or intended slap, a little bit of a hit.
You could have just said hit. You didn't need to say slap. That's too obvious. See, the pun would have been better if you would have just said hit.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm glad I came to your TED Talk. TED Talk. iRobot. It's on, you know what? iRobot's one of those movies that when it's on TV, you watch it. Except for Bridget Monahan's acting.
Yeah. Wow.
She's not that great. Another movie we always watch when it's on TV. We're trying to convince our friend Ryan, who was on the podcast last week, to watch Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Really good movie.
Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
He refuses to watch it. I don't understand why. You know, when everyone tells you it's a good movie, do you just feel the inkling to be like, no, I'm going to be different. I'm not watching that tripe.
There's so many options out there though. And people's lists, I'll add it to the list. People's lists are so long.
When do you watch anything on your watch list? We have a watch list like 25 deep. It's been 25 deep since 2022.
Here's the thing. Like,
are we ever going to watch this Tiger King show? I heard good things.
Here's the thing. I find it very hard to pick something to watch when it's the two of us versus when I'm just alone. Because
we have opposite.
Easier for me to pick.
Right, yeah, because we have opposite views on what we want to watch.
Opposite tastes.
Every once in a while, we'll watch something we both like.
Well, like Squid Game is coming out on this week, so we'll watch that.
It's different. That's different because that's a cultural phenomenon, like Stranger Things,
okay,
Tiger King.
But not everybody likes those shows, right? But we do happen.
They're buzz shows.
They are.
The Last of Us.
Yeah,
stuff.
but we do happen to like some of the same stuff.
What is a movie we watched recently that had no hype behind it, but we watched it anyways?
Had no hype behind it.
What was that movie we watched with Morgan Freeman as the president?
Oh.
Deep Impact.
Deep Impact, yeah.
With Elijah Woods.
Yeah.
I don't know why we started watching that movie.
The asteroid movie.
The one that wasn't Armageddon.
The other one.
The other one.
It came out the same year though.
God, Armageddon is a terrible movie. Anyway, so yeah, it's difficult to find something we both want to watch and enjoy.
I think it's okay. And I know it feels weird. You want to sit down on the couch and cuddle up and watch a movie together or watch a show, watch something that you like. I think it's okay to just be like, hey, I'm going to go downstairs and watch my show. You could stay up here and watch your show. I'm going to go upstairs. You know, I think it's okay to just...
Is it? Then why is it every time I do that, you answer like this? Oh, okay. Why do you answer like, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's only when I don't have anything to watch.
So
because then I don't know what I'm going to pick.
It's now it's our problem. Your boredom
exactly.
is our problem. It's true. You do that. I love it.
I'm glad we brought... No,
okay.
I'm glad we brought it up though because, you know, there's
I guess I'll just stay up here and watch the screensaver.
There's a name for it now.
It's called a relationship.
It's called screen divorce.
Screen divorce?
Yeah, screen divorce. When you do the same thing, like when you both do the same thing, which is watch something on TV, but separately, you've taken a screen divorce.
So you're upstairs, I'm downstairs, watching two different things. We've screen divorce.
We've screen divorced.
Who gets the remote in the settlement?
Yeah.
What about when you're on the couch together, but you're both on your own phone?
Yeah.
Is that a screen affair?
And the TV is on.
And the TV's on.
You've picked something and then you're both on your phones.
I think it's healthy. I think it's good that every once in a while I'll be like, hey, I'm going to go do my own thing downstairs.
Yeah.
That sounds dirty. I'm going to watch something downstairs while you stay upstairs and watch The Handmaid's Tale or whatever it is you watch. I really don't know. And then I come up here and ask you like five questions.
Thanks for being so invested in my life.
I am.
Or whatever it is you watch. I don't really know where the fuck that shit is. Like, what?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's a bit more extreme, but when couples have their own bedrooms. You ever thought about us having our own bedrooms?
We kind of do in
a
way.
Mean? No, we don't. We sleep in the same bed every night.
We sleep in the same bed, but like my my stuff is in the guest bedroom because we don't have enough drawers and enough closet space for both of our stuff in one room.
She's got the extra bedroom.
So your stuff is in our bedroom. My stuff is all in the other bedroom. So it kind of feels like sometimes we do have two different
lives.
No, two different rooms.
Oh, okay.
But we get together and sleep in the bed at night. You
Yeah.
know? It's king size. There's enough room for everyone.
My buddy just decided to buy his own bed, so they got in there, and he said it's actually really helped the relationship.
Oh, that's
because
good.
he said like she would snore,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, he hates going to bed angry and like sleeping in the same bed. He's like, it throws me off. So we got our own beds, and he said it's really, really helped. I also read something about getting your own places, like your own places. Like that's
much.
Bezos monies. You know what I mean?
Like your own
mansions.
houses?
Like Lauren Sanchez, is that her name? Lauren Sanchez?
Yeah.
She gets her own mansion, and so does Jeff Bezos get his own hollowed out volcano layer.
Why would you need that when your house is so big that you could have separate
give her
wings?
a wing. Yeah, give her a wing. Hey, take the wings.
You
I'll go down
you get
the
the
middle.
west wing.
You get
I'll
the
take
west
the
wing.
east wing.
And
Like,
nobody gets the north and south wing. That's when the in-laws come over.
I have a good story to go out on.
Okay.
There's a story of a BC woman, 84 years old, who passed away.
This is a great story.
Sorry, listen, no, I'm trying to remember when this was.
By the time you finish the story,
Hold on.
I'm going to pass away.
Her name is Janet, and she died in 2021. So they've been going to court over this, her family. And 3 months before she died, she left her $1 million estate to a much younger professional male escort.
She left her $1 million estate to
a male escort.
Mescort.
Mescort for short, if you will.
Mescort for short if you're nasty.
Yeah. So now her family is trying to argue that her previous will should be
honored.
should be honored. Haunted? No,
should
honored.
be haunted.
Should be honored because they believe that she was influenced by this person to change her will, since it was only 3 months before her passing.
Oh, wow.
But this person, this escort, says that, and she has no children, by the way, this woman, no children. These are nieces and nephews arguing this.
Yeah, okay.
And her husband died 17 years before she did. So she spent 17 years on her own.
Right.
Apparently she did enjoy paying for the services of various male escorts
yeah.
for, not just
Conversation.
companionship,
Right.
but, a little bit more than that.
Actually, can I just take this off for a sec? I was watching this thing about female escorts, and her talking about on like the majority of time, men want more than just the physical. They want that emotional connection with somebody, and that's what they're missing. What? Wait, hey, what? What's up with that reaction?
It's human nature. Men have just discovered they need more than sex.
No. That's not. No, she was saying that most guys that she has business with, they just want conversation and companionship as opposed to just sex.
That's great. Yeah. You can get that from human interaction.
Who's got the time? Okay, go back. So yeah, so she got $1 million estate to her Mescort.
Yeah, to her Mescort.
Yeah.
And the relatives are arguing that, that this person obviously influenced her to make this choice, because why on earth would she leave that to this escort versus her remaining relatives?
Yeah, her family.
Right?
Yeah.
And this escort is saying that can't be possible because she was the one paying me for services. So in a way, she was my employer. So she had in the power dynamic, she held the power.
So
because
she's Richard
Gere. She
Gere.
had the money, and I was being paid to give her service.
He was the Julia Roberts. She was the Richard Gere. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. But her family is saying there's just no way that you didn't influence this decision.
They don't know that though. They will have no idea. If they can prove, if the Mescort can somehow prove, so he's accepting this by a state.
Well, they do say that this will go to trial, and there is some evidence, text messages and things that seem to support the allegations of the nieces and nephews.
Oh, that he was influencing her decision.
Yes.
Because
So
what I
we'll
was
see
what I
what
was going to say
happens.
was if he can prove that she was of sound mind, then they really don't have a case. But if there's these text messages, then whatever will come out in court.
Yeah.
Also, her family could have sucked. Maybe she wanted nothing
Well,
to do
I was
with
going to
them.
say, did they visit her? Maybe if she's lonely and hiring other people to provide her companionship, how involved in her life were her remaining relatives really?
Did he say what the relationship was like? Did he mention that it was sexual? Was it more? Was it less?
I think it was both. There was a 54-year age difference between the two of them. So if she was 84.
Pacino's like amateur hour.
So that's 30. So he was 30 years old.
And she was how old?
84, right?
Yeah, that's 54
years.
Yeah, it's 54 years. Yeah.
Right. So it seems like they did a lot together and they spent a lot of time together. So what if that was just
Going
the
to
case where
knitting
she
bees
really
and-
liked him?
Yeah,
and
that's
was
definitely
like,
possible.
Despite me paying you to hang out with me, I've had a lovely time with you.
Yeah.
And I think you deserve my estate.
More than your family.
Maybe that is the case. Who knows?
Sometimes your family suck. Sometimes your family is your family in name only.
In name only.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they could have like been awful to her. They could have given her like, she was 84. They probably gave her like gifts, like huge calculators with massive numbers because she was like going blind or something. You know, stuff. You know those gifts that insult seniors.
Insult seniors.
Here, Grandma. Here's a cane. I'm 40. I run track all the time. What is this?
I got you the extra long back scratcher. Look how big it is.
Yeah, look,
you know?
Grandma. Look, it's an acorn stair lift. I don't need that.
Acorn stair lift. Those are expensive.
They are expensive. Anyways, so we'll see how that goes.
I'll be interested to see what happens with that case. But yeah, if I found out that like my grandmother passed away and left everything to a male escort, yeah, I'd have some questions.
Yeah, I'd have some. Yeah, and
I'd have some questions.
Yeah, probably kind of upset, especially the fact that she didn't say anything to you.
Yeah.
How would you find out if you're? How is your grandma? 87-ish.
She's up there.
Would you be half impressed if she was using a male escort?
Oh,
get her out of that chair.
Yeah, anything to get her out of the chair.
She lives in a lazy boy. Like she loves
lives
her lazy.
in a lazy boy.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, I'd be really impressed. Like, good for you, Grandma.
Yeah.
By the way, she
she'd
left
say,
everything.
Don't worry, I didn't have to get out of the chair.
And then you'd be like, okay, I gotta go.
That's it for episode 8, 9.
This is episode 9. This is episode 9
of Not Another Podcast with Tony and Dayna. We'll be back next week with another episode. You can get us on TikTok, Instagram. We're on Facebook now.
Yeah, you started a Facebook page for us.
Yeah.
For all your grandmother's likes.
Yeah. Here we go.
At Tony and Dayna.
So your grandmother can leave us her $1 million estate.
Yes, we will accept it. Gladly. Because we have no jobs. We need to pay bills. You can also follow us on YouTube. Hit like, subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave it to us on Instagram at Tony Dayna, at Tony Stark Radio, and at Dayna Breezy.
Yeah. So I guess we'll chat next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye.